All right, question 7. It says each pair of figures below is similar. Write a proportion and solve to find the lengths of the unknown sides that are marked with a variable. So for the first question, there are 2 variables that we need to find. There are a bunch of ways to solve this, kind of like Casey and her brother are some options, but there's just so many ways you could do this. So if you did something different, that's okay, than if I did it. But I'm going to start with just y. It doesn't really matter, but y does correspond to 7. So those do have to go together. And then I'm going to set it up as 7 over y. But again, there's a lot of ways to write it. And then I want to put a set of numbers that is there instead of like a variable. So for example, I could do 4 and 3. I could also do 15 and 11.25, but I can't do like 6 and w because that would be 2 variables and I can't solve that. So I'm just going to use the 4 and the 3. Since I started with this shape, I'm going to use the 4 from over here and then I'll go 3. Make sure that you're setting up your equations correctly. So then I'm going to cross multiply. So 4 times y equals 7 times 3. And then I'm actually going to multiply. So 4y equals 21. And then the last step would be to divide by 4 on both sides. So y equals 5.25. You could also write it as a fraction if you wanted. Okay, and then the other set would be I'll use a different color here, would be w and 6. And we can use the 4 and 3 again, which is kind of nice. So I'm going to do w over 6. Since I did w first, I'm going to do 4 first, and then 4 over 3. Then I'm going to cross multiply. So 6 times 4 equals 3 times w. Lots of ways to solve this and set it up and still be correct. So understand that even if you did something a little different, as long as you're getting to the same end result and doing all this stuff mathematically correctly in the in-between, you're good to go. So 6 times 4 is 24 equals 3w. And then we're going to divide both sides by 3 to get w alone. So 24 divided by 3 is 8. And then we're going to basically do this for the rest of them. So let's go to the next one. I need to find z, which corresponds with 12. And then I need to find x, which corresponds to 6. So I'm going to use, let's see, I'm going to have to use 9 and 15 because 11 doesn't have anything it corresponds to and 4 doesn't have anything it corresponds to. So let's just do z first. So I'm going to do z over 12. I like to put lines through my z's because they look like tubes. So it helps me remember. And then equals, so if I do that, I'm going to do 9 over 15 and then cross multiply. So 15z equals 12 times 9, and then I'm going to actually multiply those. So 15z equals 108, and then I'm going to divide both sides by 15. So z equals 7.2, and again, you can write that as a fraction if you want to. Just make sure you're simplifying. And then to do the other one, I'll use another color here. Let's do the x's. So I'll go the other direction so you can see it. X over 6 equals, and then again, we're going to use the 15 and 9. But since I started with x, I'll start with 15. So 15 over 9. Then let's cross multiply. 9 times x equals 6 times 15. You could also write 15 times 6. Bunch of options. I'm just trying to show you some different ways. So 9x equals 15 times 6 is 90. So we're going to divide both sides by 9. So x equals 10. Okay, next one. You have to find 2 things here. So v goes with m prime y prime. So that's my. So that goes with 32. And then 4.2 goes with 10. And then the last set, u and 8. So we're going to use the 10 and the 4.2 twice. So I'll do u over 8 equals 10 over 4.2, and then cross multiply. So 4.2u equals 8 times 10. So 4.2u equals 80. And then we're going to divide both sides by 4.2. So 80 divided by 4.2 is going to be u equals 19.05, or sorry, 048. And then the next one is going to be the v. So I'm going to do 32 divided by v equals, and since I went this way, this direction, I'm going to do 10 over 4.2 again. Okay, and then we're going to cross multiply. So 10 times v equals 32 times 4.2, which is 134.4. Then we're going to divide both sides by 10. So v equals 13.44. Okay, I think the next one gets just a tad bit more complicated. So this one, it's easy to see what goes together, but to set it up and solve may be a little bit harder. So we're going to do x over x plus 3 equals 20 over 24. Now the x plus 3 always stays together, so when you cross multiply, you want to make sure you have parentheses around it, and I like to put that 20 in the front, kind of like when you're doing questions like this where you put the 10 in front. Like you could write V10, it's just you're not used to it, just like this. I'd put the 20 before the x plus 3. So then I'm going to do 24 times x. So now I'm going to distribute that 20 through. So 20 times x, I'm going to go up here, is 20x, and then 20 times 3 is 60 equals 24x. So now it's just like an algebra problem. We're going to move the 20x to the other side. So now I have 60 equals 4x. And then we're going to divide both sides by 4, and then we're done with x. So it's 15. Okay, next one. This one, you've got a lot of options here. I can do x and 11, and then I can do 15 and 10, and I can do 18 and 12. So x and 11 I definitely need, and then I'm just going to use 18 and 12. But other options are available. So I could do x over 11 equals 18 over 12, and then I'm going to cross multiply. So 12x equals 11 times 18. So 11 times 18 is 198, and then I'm just going to divide both sides by 12. So divide that by 12, I get x is 16.5. Okay, and then the last one, it tells you what goes together. So let's see here. SR would be the first two letters. Look us with the first two letters here, BC, and then ST would be the second two, so it goes with CD. Okay, so now we can set up. So we're gonna do, I'm just gonna do 70 over 50, so I went this direction, should equal 11x minus 4 over 60. And when you do that, make sure you're getting parentheses around that 11x minus 4, because we want to give that 50 to everything when we cross multiply. So 50 times 11x minus 4 equals 70 times 60. So we're going to distribute that 50 through. So 50 times 11 is 550x, and then 50 times 4 is going to be 200, and then 70 times 60 is 4,200. Then we're going to get all the numbers to this side because that's alone already, so I'm going to add 200. So 550x equals 4,400, and then we're going to divide both sides by 550. So we get 8.